Hey folks, Tennessee Brando here. This past Friday marked the opening round of the LIV Golf tournament. Now, which golf tournament is that, you may be asking? That's the one backed by Saudi Arabia and took place on Donald Trump's golf course in New Jersey. Now, take a look at what happened when Phil Mickelson got met by a heckler.
All right, behind me right there is Phil Mickelson, the face of this new golf league being bankrolled by the Saudi government. $100 million. That's all it took for him to come here. And I guess forget about that journalist that was chopped up by the Saudi government. Hey Phil, give us a wave. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, give me a look. Yes, thumbs up. Thank you. All right.
Last hour, Phil Mickelson teed off here at the 16th hole just behind me. Here's what happened.
Do it for the Saudi royal family.
Come on, man. Shut the fuck up. Come on, man. One more time and we'll escort you out.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Boy, they sure shut that down quick, didn't they? But now get a load of what happens later when Donald Trump shows up and the crowd begins to chant, "Let's go Brandon." Okay, so let me get this straight. A golf tournament that is heavily backed by the Saudi government is taking place at Trump's golf course in New Jersey, and when a heckler stands up and says, "Do it for the Saudi royal family," he's immediately told to shut the fuck up. He's immediately told that if he says that one more time, he'll be escorted out. However, when Trump shows up and the crowd is chanting, "Let's go Brandon," which, by the way, is code for fuck Joe Biden, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson, they're just having a good laugh about it. Trump's just smiling and waving at the crowd. So do you know what they're telling us? They're telling us that they're perfectly A-OK with insulting a sitting U.S. president. But if you say anything bad, if you heckle about the Saudi government, you're out of here. Can you imagine the Republican Party becoming this? I mean, if you say anything against the Saudi government, you're out, but fuck Joe Biden. And I still have people ask me all the time, they'll say, what does "Let's go Brandon" mean? Well, there was this NASCAR reporter who was interviewing a NASCAR driver by the name of Brandon Brown. And for some reason, the crowd was behind them chanting, "Fuck Joe Biden." And so the reporter trying to cover for it goes, "I think they're saying, 'Let's go Brandon.'" And now they've turned this into code for "fuck Joe Biden." The same people who says they're not afraid to speak their mind. The same people who says we're not scared if you get offended. They can't just say "fuck Joe Biden." They have to have this little grade school code to say it. And that's all fun and games. That's all a big laugh to Tucker Carlson. But let's go back 20 years. Let's think about the Republican Party from 20 years ago. Imagine if in the early 2000s, imagine if there had been a Democratic nominee running against George W. Bush. Say, let's take John Kerry, okay? What if John Kerry had had a golf tournament that was heavily backed by Saudi Arabia? Do you think Tucker Carlson would have been laughing about that? No, I think his little bow tie would have exploded off of his neck. He would have lost his mind. And if you go back just as far as the Obama administration, every time Obama turned his head toward the Middle East, they would say, "Oh, he's palling around with the terrorists. He's palling around with the terrorists." Now, they're having golf tournaments that's heavily backed by Saudi Arabia, and they're A-OK with it. There is absolutely no consistency with these people whatsoever. But can you imagine Tucker Carlson if there had been a Democratic president who had a golf tournament hosted by a country who was accused of war crimes, a country accused of torture, a country accused of wrongfully imprisoning its own citizens, a country accused of killing a Washington Post journalist? Do you think Tucker Carlson would have just been having a good laugh about that? And can you imagine if there had been some sort of code for "fuck George Bush" or "fuck Ronald Reagan"? He would have lost his ever-loving mind. But it's perfectly A-OK now because they don't care as long as their side is winning. They will change their stripes every day. The interesting part here to me is when I first started calling out Donald Trump, which basically was the minute he said, "I think I might run for president," people would say, "Well, you shouldn't call them a cult because they're really not a cult, man. That's kind of a low blow. You got friends that are Trump supporters. You shouldn't say that." And I'm like, well, the reason I say that is because they change their position no matter what he says. And I don't have the mental gymnastics to jump through all the hoops that he has to jump through to be a Trump supporter. Now, I'm just a contributor here on MeidasTouch, but I know for a fact that if I started saying something different in each video, you guys, I know you liberals on this channel would call me out and you would go, "Wait a minute. Hey, MeidasTouch, This contributor you got, he says something in one video and turns around and says something completely different in the next video. But these people will go right with it. Tucker Carlson can say something, go to a commercial break, come back, say the opposite. His followers don't even catch it. They don't even care. And that is why we're facing what I call Cult 45. That's why we're facing this cult mentality, this cult of personality. They're all for anything that their side does. They see no wrong in their side. And that's the big difference between the two. When people says the parties are the same, I say, no, we're not. Because our side will at least call our people out when they're wrong. And I want somebody to call me out when I get it wrong. But they don't have a problem with it. And that's why more than ever, it's important that we vote. And I'm going to say it every chance I get. You got to get out there. You got to vote. And not only vote, but let your voice be heard. Speak up and let them know that we're not all that way. Because we cannot let the history books write down this day and age and say those people were the ones calling the shots. You know, the problem we have is that there's all kinds of confident people out there that are sitting around kind of doubting themselves. And then you got stupid people out here just chanting, let's go Brandon, and laughing about it. And we can't let the history books write us that way. So stand up, speak out, and shout down this lunacy at every chance you get.